Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. I'm Sparky. Fifer. He's Gery Woelfel here of the Racine Journal-Times. Time to talk a little high school basketball. Yeah, it's that time of year already. High school basketball games already being played and underway. And a developing story happening over at Racine St. Cat's. Bob Letch is out again. Oh, no. Sorry. No. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Retake.
Yeah, no, that was a bad joke. Sorry, no.
Letch was on your case enough in the past. Now he's really going to be on your case.
I love Bob Letch.
He'll probably be calling you tomorrow and say, Sparky.
No.
He'll go into one of his typical rants and,
No, but anytime you hear there's a situation at St. Cat's, it was like, oh, no, something's going on with Letch.
Exactly.
But nothing's going on with Coach Letch.
That's not till after the season.
Right.
Oh, never mind.
He is still great at what he does. Okay, now, the situation...
Backpedal now.
The situation is this. Romeo Bouie, who...
How do you remember his first name, by the way?
I asked you before we came on, because you kept saying Bouie. I'm like, what's his first name?
Romeo.
Right.
I don't know how many people have said that to him.
I don't know.
But I'll bet a lot.
But he is a very, very good basketball player.
Absolutely.
And he's a guy that St. Cat's obviously was planning on building around coming into the year. Mm-hmm. And then he wasn't going to come back to St. Cat's.
Right. He actually transferred to a prep school in Georgia, and along with several other kids. Remember D'Angelo Jackson from Case? He was down there, along with a former Horlick player. So the three of them were friends, and they had everything going. And from what I gather, is the prep school ran into some financial problems.
That happens.
And they might have disbanded.
That happens too.
So I think D'Angelo Jackson is going to a junior college. I'm telling you, this guy is Marcus Smart II. He is good. Somebody's going to pick him up a year from now and say, where did this guy come from? But anyways, getting back to Bowie. So now he has moved back to Racine, and he wants to get into St. Catherine's. And I think there's some issue like, hey, has he enrolled? I'm getting conflicting stories whether he's actually enrolled or not. I was told last night he had not enrolled. So if he didn't enroll, this is all mute. He's not going to play. But he is back in town. And
but hold on a second here. Let's throw some gasoline on the fire for a second.
I'm shocked.
What if he did enroll at St. Cat's? Could he walk in and play at one of the city schools? Horlick, Park, or Case?
That's a good question. I don't think so, because I think...
Because wasn't there talk originally that everybody thought he was going to go to Horlick?
He did go to Horlick, yeah.
Right?
He left after his sophomore year, junior year.
So, I mean, technically, couldn't he go walk back into Horlick?
No, I think, he can enroll anywhere he wants
from
an academic standpoint, but the WIA governs everybody. So they would have to appeal the WIA to make sure everything is proper.
Sure.
And knowing the WIA's track record, I would doubt if they would allow him to play.
That's too bad. He's a really good basketball player.
Yeah, he would, because I think he would be the guy that could possibly help him win a state title.
But isn't he an impact player regardless of where he ends up? In the city?
Yeah. Oh, he's
a game changer no matter where he goes.
Yeah, he's probably one of the top three players in the city.
Right.
So no matter where he goes, like you said, he would have an immediate impact.
And again,
and he can score. I mean, he's a flat-out scorer.
When we talk basketball, Racine is a hotbed for basketball. I mean, it's a little bit different than football. Football programs struggle a little bit. Basketball programs are really, really good. And so St. Cat's minus him now. How good are they going to be minus him?
You know what? I thought they'd go through some tough times. But get this, Steve. They played Case right off the bat, right?
Very good.
At Case, and they were in the game late into the fourth quarter. The X factor was Darian King. I mean, King might be the best player in the city. Best football player in the city. But anyways.
What is he going to do? Has he made up his mind?
He has. He's going to Western Michigan. He signed...
to do what?
Play...
Football.
Yeah, no.
That was the right decision.
It was the right decision.
Thank you.
I mean, I could see him someday possibly playing on Sundays.
Sure.
He's 6'4", he's athletic, he's got good speed, he's smart.
Yep.
He's got a lot of things going for him. But getting back to St. Catherine's, what this has done is help give Zach Ramolt more of an opportunity to showcase his skills. He's a really good guard, really fundamentally sound. Think in terms of Brian Wardle, okay, when he played at Marquette.
So he can shoot the ball?
He can shoot the ball. He can handle the ball. He's a vocal leader, just a really good all-around player. So he came off, I think, like a 16-point game against Case. And in addition to that, they came back and played Kenosha-Tremper, right? Now, these are both Division I schools, both Southeast Conference, and they beat Tremper. So St. Catherine's is going to be pretty good.
I don't know how good Tremper is in basketball this year. I have no idea. So
Yeah, but even at that, I mean, you know,
that's a D1 school.
Yeah, D1 exactly, and they're D4, so it bodes well.
What do they have for Diamond Stone? That's the question. Coach Letch, what do you got for Diamond? I mean, that's what we got to find out because that's going to be the team.
Well, Professor
Fish Bay Dominican.
Professor Letch has probably been in his lab for the last 3 months devising schemes. The one thing that St. Catherine has going for it that probably 90% of the teams in the state don't have when they play Diamond Stone, they have height. Thomas is like 6'6", 6'7", and he's a strong guy.
I'm telling you right now, I've said it before.
And Cafferty's also about 6'6".
I said before, and I'll say it again. If I'm the coach and I'm going against him, and I've got size, I'm telling my kids to be as physical as possible.
All right.
Elbows, keep moving them, just keep touching them. Just keep nudging them and keep pushing them. And see if you can play through it.
Are you an antagonist here?
No, I'm just saying, if I was playing Diamond Stone, my goal would be to move him off the block as much as possible.
That's easier said than done, though.
Keep pushing and throwing and just getting on his nerves. That's how I would try and do it with him.
He weighs more than John Hansen or Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, all those guys. He's like, what 240?
I don't know what his size is.
Diamond Stone's a good-sized guy.
Right.
So I mean, that's what I was saying about Kelly Thomas from St. Catherine's. He is a physical. He played football. He was a lineman. So he can match up with them from a physical standpoint. Now, the athletic standpoint and the skill standpoint, I mean, who does?
Well, no, I agree. But for me, I would want to be as physical as possible with Diamond Stone and see how he reacts.
Oh, I agree.
Because a lot of these games they play, there is nobody that's even physical with him. So he gets to go and do whatever he wants. If you have somebody with size where he's going to feel an elbow and he's going to feel getting touched, that's how I'd go about it. That's how I would. I'd be physical. Because when he played Luke Fisher from Germantown a couple of years ago,
he's a totally different guy.
I understand that.
Totally different.
But when they played, Fisher was very, very physical.
Right.
And Diamond Stone would take an elbow, and he wouldn't do anything bad. He'd go like this.
But he was a sophomore then.
Right, he was young. Right.
Now he's
and as you grow, the one thing that I've always said is, if he ever gets a nasty side to him, like Shaq or some of these other guys, get out of the way, because he's going to be dominant.
And he may.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we want to talk about some of the other schools in the city.
All right, let's go to Horlick.
But St. Catherine's, it would not shock me. Unfortunately, they're in Division 4 with Dominican, so they might hit a roadblock. But I'll tell you what, if any team has a chance to beat Dominican, it's them.
Letch is just a great coach. All right, so enough of that. Let's talk about Racine Horlick. What about them?
Excuse me. They will have probably the best player in the county in Deontay Woods coming back. He's been recruited by a bunch of D1 schools, including UW-Milwaukee. And really athletic, 6'2",
right?
Can put it on the floor, has a great all-around game. And talking to Jason Tretler, their coach, he is really optimistic. I think people forget. Everybody talked about Case the last 2 years because they won the SEC, and not only did they win the SEC the last 2 years, they went undefeated.
Right.
I mean, they were the kingpins of the SEC. But Horlick and Case had good years last year. I think they were like 11-3.
All three played well.
Yeah, exactly. So with Horlick and Park, I think they're going to make a legitimate run at Case this year. I still think Case is the team to beat in the SEC.
Sure.
But Horlick in particular and Park, I think, are going to be heard from.
What about Park?
And Park is led by Kai Days. We've been talking about him
for like 3 years.
He's a junior.
Before he even got into high school, I think we were talking about him in 8th grade.
Yeah, and they've played 2 games. They've gone 1-1, and Kai Days played well in both games. He didn't put up the monster numbers, but he had a double-double in one game, and he almost had a double-double in the other game. He's certainly, when you talk about the best players in the city, he's in the top 3 or 4, and he's getting better and better. And the interesting thing about it, I don't know if you know this or not, but he has a brother. Have you?
You've told me about his brother. Yeah.
He's an 8th grader. So next year they will be playing together.
Are they the same size?
His brother is a little taller, Noble.
Really?
He's about 6'8", maybe, and he's got a wingspan. This is crazy. A guy told me that they were in Las Vegas this summer, and there's a place that has life-size statues of NBA players, right? And one is of Shaquille O'Neal, and his arms are outstretched. They put Noble next to him, almost identical wingspan.
That's crazy.
As an 8th grader. So, and the nice thing about these two kids, their parents are outstanding.
Yeah.
They got a wonderful family, so you're really happy for them.
That's good. All right, so those are those two. Case better than they were last year, or worse, same? What do you think?
Right now, I think they're taking a step back. I mean, when you lose a player like D'Angelo Jackson,
Yep.
they lost a couple other guys, they're going to take a hit. But having said that, I think King is ready to bust out and be a dominant player. Tyrese Pinson, my guy from
Your guy forever.
5'4". He's going to have a big year. Now he's taking over D'Angelo Jackson's point guard spot. And then they got a kid named Dazon Scott who kind of played in the shadows last year.
Sure.
He's a tremendous three-point shooter, probably the best three-point shooter in the area.
Sounds like another good year in Racine High School basketball for sure. We'll be here each and every week going over the high school games from the previous week and the upcoming games. He is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer.
Romeo.
Right,
Fifer.
from 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee. Catching me on the Wendy's Big Show weekday afternoons from 2 until 6. And, of course, also do post-game shows after Bucks games as well. Right here, next week, same time.
Okay, Batman.
Same website, racinesportszone.com. Goodbye.